This is our ABE center, and usually it's through the winter it's been just packed. Anywhere from 10 to more students in here during the day. I think anytime you can even graduate one, that's success. And here comes our instructor, Mike Husa, who is very instrumental in some of the things that we're doing here. Between Mike Husa and Josh Fisher, they were able to come up with a software where we could reach out young men and women out in the villages and working with AVCP's workforce development, helping these young people get ready for their GED or tape testing, but GED, well, let's use GED at this moment. And a couple weeks ago, we brought in 9-10 of them in here for a comprehensive for the whole week, where they really bang out and finish off their GED here. So it's a success that I think is something that everybody's been talking about for the last 15, 20 years, but broadband has come in, and now we're able to reach out with the computers to the villages and save that transportation costs. Yuut has become the place where anytime any dignitaries come to Bethel, this is where they all come here, and we can seat them here, and this also feeds all of our students. And they have judo here. They have their Yupik dancing here. The high school, it's I guess you could almost call it our gym sometimes.
Or a multi-purpose room.
Our multi-purpose room.
So my name is Jeremy Osborne. I'm the Director of Programs here at Yuut Elitnaurviat.
They do self-defense training, and we have a village police officer, tribal police officer academy.
So our back two dormitories, we have the Kuskokwim dorm and the Rasmussen dorm. And those are actually leased by Lower Kuskokwim School District to host their READY program. And the cool thing about this is that students in a small village were able to get the higher level math, the lab science courses that you can't always have in a small school, but they're still graduating from their home community. We're not taking them away from their home community and graduating them here. And it was a STEM-focused training, so they went on to ANSEP in Anchorage. But the other part of it is they're getting away from the village for a semester. They're staying in a dormitory environment. We found that it lessened the amount of homesickness that students experienced in Anchorage. And it was so positive and worked out so well that the school district actually took it over, funded it, and it's now their READY programs. They've got STEM ready still, they've got aviation ready, healthcare ready, information technology ready, and it's become a really cool model for LKSD.
So this is where the high school is now, and it's kind of crammed and jammed down there. When we first brought them on, Jeremy, I want to say there was about 140 students then, and because of so many students in the high school here, that was one of the reasons why, that is the reason why the expansion for Yuut is going to grow this summer. We plan on being able to accommodate LKSD with extending out and putting the whole high school on the bottom floor and moving administration adult education up here. And so that was the main reason why we are expanding, and not only in this building, we're going to be building another dorm out here. We're going to have a standalone DHAT over there for the dental, and a huge shop.
So when we talk about the DHAT program, it stands for Dental Health Aid Therapist, and it's a 2-year mid-level dental provider. This is the only place in Alaska where we can actually offer the clinical portion of it. And so if you come in here, it's a 2-year program. They do 1 year of didactic training in Anchorage, a lot of the book work and stuff, and then they come out here to do their clinical rotations because we have more Alaska Native people to be seen than pretty much anywhere else in the state. And this is a map that just shows kind of where our DHATs are from. And we've had people all the way from southeast, all the way parts of the interior. The YK Delta, of course, has the most because, you know, the campus is here in the YK Delta. It's very easy to recruit people to come to Bethel. But we're getting down into the Aleutian chain, and if you look out here on this part, you can see a picture of the lower 48, and we're starting to get people from the lower 48, from tribes down states, are buying into this model because These DHATs are living in their communities. They're doing basic dental care. They're in constant communication with a doctor, much like a physician's assistant. But the model works because it's local people in their communities doing dental. For the first time in recorded history, you're finding children in Hooper Bay, Alaska with no cavities. First time that anyone's ever seen that. So we're moving our way up. We've got a few from the Kotzebue and Nome areas. We're hoping to get Barrow in the next few years, sending some DHATs down. But it's a model that's really working well, and we're really excited that it's housed here on our campus. And the program is a partnership with ANTHC and Yuut Elitnaurviat.
And you can see our semi over there driving with 4. We have 4 students in that class, but they built these these piling out here with the assumption that we were going to grow. Well, here we are. We are in need of growth. We have windmills, and we have solar panels that are right here behind us too. And so those are cost cutting, and the savings are
Roughly $20,000, $25,000 per year.
our students welded this grater, and it's it will be able to be pulled by a pickup truck, and it fits in the back of a Casa, and the total cost, I believe, brought to the village, the one I heard, $40,000. Pretty doggone good price. I will. This is Dennis DeShawn. He's our instructor in construction here. He's been affiliated with this school for probably the inception since the beginning of Yuut. So he's been here a number of years and teaches a lot of the classes here.
And the neat thing is the students get to build a complete house from start to finish, from the foundation all the way to putting in the refrigerator and the range.
Materials alone, just for this one here, Dennis, is what?
Probably with shipping and everything, we're probably in 65 to 70,000.
And how would you rate this as far as energy efficiency?
Oh, it's a 5-star plus.
5-star. We're going to take this down the ice road to different closer villages and put it in place next, probably February. I would
Right.
think. Here's one of our students. And your name is?
Desiree.
Desiree? Where are you from?
Hartley.
Hartley.
Yeah. This is the bathroom. Here's the bedroom.
So it's going to be heated by, it'll have a Tommy Toyo water heater over here, and the Toyo will be out there. And this will be able to, it has a register, and if we walk out here, it'll be able to run a fan all the way through to the back here to heat this.
We have a nice website. We're sending out that annual newsletter to every box holder in the YK Delta. I would hope that combined with all the students coming here, going back to their villages, people are like, wow, how did you know how to build that? Well, I got training at Yuut Elitnaurviat. Wow, you've got a job welding these boardwalks in the village. Where'd you learn that? Learned it right here at Yuut Elitnaurviat.
We have VPO training going to be starting up, and how long is that course?
That's 15 days, village police officer, tribal police officer, and it's now the only one in the state of Alaska.
Something unique that is going to be also happening in this next month here is we have Coast Guard training.
Yep. Yeah, so this is where we have our adult programs. When KLA came in and they took over kind of the second floor of our building, we had classrooms up there. That's where we used to house our adult programs. But partnership with the school district, we have now these 4 portable classrooms, and we've been able to house all of our adult training either in here or in the shop. This is Ken Wallace, and he's our airframe and power plant instructor.
Okay, so this was the inception about 10 years ago. AVCP, their board, received some fishing disaster money and was able to build this building and able to secure a few state grants to get this going. It just never ever got going. And I would say about a couple years ago, AVCP came to Yuut, asked us if we would be interested in taking over, since it is a training facility for aircraft mechanics and that we're in the business of training. And so we did, and we officially took over about a year ago. Working with the FAA, got the curriculum approved and hired an instructor. We went out and got a bunch of interested young men and people to apply for it. And so on April 23rd, this school opened. But it is state of the art. All of the apparatuses in here are required for the curriculum. So the plan with all of these that are donated, we have a twin engine that is donated out there, but this particular airplane, or all the airplanes, will be teaching apparatuses. At some point, these students are going to strip this airplane all the way down to nothing, all the way down to the frame, and rebuild the frame up, refabricate, get it into prime condition. But it will never fly. They will, when it's done, the next class is going to come in and tear it all apart again and redo it again. So it'll be a teaching apparatus for decades to come. These are airplanes that are being used in our region today. So our mechanics are going to come out of here being able to work on those particular type of airplanes that our operators around here need. And I mentioned that we're going to come back around hopefully in September and start another class. So one thing I wanted to point out is when our students come in, and here they are, we have them here, they all have their own toolboxes, every one of them. Everything is ready. They'll have their own starters to work on. Everything, I don't believe there's anything we forgot. We have everything here to teach these young people to become an aircraft mechanic. These are 4 of our 8 students. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves and where you're from?
All right, I'll go first. I'm Darren Smith from Scammon Bay.
And I'm Crandall Fisher from Hooper Bay.
Ryan George, Akichuk. It's pretty challenging, learning new things, but it's exciting as well when we get down into the hangar and actually make some things. Earlier this week, we made some hoses, rigid fluid lines, and flexible fluid lines. My first time making a flexible fluid line, and I had some fun. Learning new things. It's exciting. I thought it was a lot harder.
Having this mechanic school will just benefit not only the operators, not only our young people in this region, but it's going to benefit other parts of rural Alaska. But now we're getting more from outside down in Idaho and Oregon and Washington, from the tribes down there coming up here training in dental. I see the same thing in this aviation mechanic school, that we are going to attract a lot of young people from not only rural Alaska and Alaska, but from down in the lower 48. And we're excited about that here at Yuut. The part that we had to make sure that, and I'll say it again, we couldn't set them up for failure. We didn't want to just say, okay, come all, and we'll let you into the class. Well, they get in here, and if their reading comprehension wasn't up to speed, and their math wasn't up to speed, a lot harder on the instructor and a lot harder on them, and they would probably drop out. So we took them to the ABE Center, and tested them out and made sure that they were at that level that they needed to be to take this class. We wouldn't be able to do this without all our partners. AVCP, a number of other different organizations, Chalista, and Alaska Airlines. You need those partnerships, and we are thankful for a number of other operators who have come in and helped us. They are going to have a well-qualified mechanic at the end of all of this to work for them. And Alaska Airlines sees this, they know it, and they're excited to have these young people going to work for them in the future.
We purchased it from them at a reduced rate.
Okay.
We still did spend money for it.
Okay.
But I said
a little bit of money.
It's 99% identical to the Navajo that's flying down the street at Grant, so they'll get good training, working on the same airplane. They'll work on this airplane, they'll go to work at Grant, and it'll be the same airplane for them down there. They'll already be experienced. We purchased it from a gentleman in Anchorage, and he flew it out here, and it's 90% the same as the 207s that are flying here. This is basically the electrical system of a twin engine airplane, so that our students can then learn to troubleshoot electrical items. It has switches around the backside that I can make things not work, and then the students can troubleshoot the electrical problems.